All right. Well, thanks for being here today. Very much appreciate it. Today is a very important day. This is our third Kids Kick Opiate Contest where we're making announcements about the regional winners. And this is actually one of the most critical things. It's one of many that we do in the office because it's fighting senseless death. It's going after the opiate crisis. And we know that this is such an important event because it reminds all of us here in the state just how damaging opiates are to all of our communities. We're going to ask folks to take a look at a lot of the submissions that are before us today. And these are really powerful reminders of the impact that opiates have on families and on children. And in my experience over the last 7 years, I think that the kids really give you as close a window into the soul of what's going on in West Virginia. You can see it in their poems. You can see it in their drawings, in their stories. These are kids that are getting ravaged by the terrible nature of substance abuse. And so it's important for all of us to look at what's going on with these kids. I'm very fortunate that this is now the third contest we've had, and we're up over 3,200 individuals who have done submissions. That's really very, very good. We have 96 schools that are represented, and we think that this is just only going to grow. Why? Because everyone knows that education is one of the central and most important parts of fighting the opioid epidemic. Too many children know and have had lost mommies and daddies and siblings and friends to this terrible epidemic. And instead of experiencing the comfort of a loved one's hugs, these precious souls experience the holes that were left by this terrible epidemic and this senseless death. In 2017, over 1,000 individuals died of opioid abuse. That's a very serious problem. According to CDC, in 2017, West Virginia had an age-adjusted drug overdose rate of 57.8 deaths per 100,000. That's the highest in the country. That's got to come to an end. And the only way it comes to an end is by attacking it holistically, from a supply, a demand, and an educational perspective. The work that's before you today is about the educational piece of this effort. It's so critical that we enlist people at a very young age. So that means the Kids Kick Opiate Contest. That means the Opiate Awareness Games of the Week. It also means getting out everywhere and forming partnerships. We have partnerships with schools of nursing, schools of pharmacy, where we go into middle schools, we go into high schools. We're trying to influence people's hearts and their minds because the current trajectory is still bad. Now we know that West Virginia has one of the highest prescribing rates in the United States. Fortunately, there's some good news. Those numbers are starting to come down. Those numbers have come down over 35% since we've started pushing a lot of our programs back in 2013. That means more rigorous enforcement. That means best practices in terms of when opiates are prescribed that we put together with the help and the combination of over 25 different state and national groups. And it means advancing the changes to the national drug quota system. And that's what we did in part through the lawsuit we filed against the DEA. We have to keep getting these prescribing numbers way down. And the best way to do it is actually through education. When people know about the perils of opiates, even though it's a legal product, that's how we're going to start to get the numbers down even a lot lower than where they are today. So we're pleased to be here and talk about the Kids Kick Opiate Contest. And I want to note that since the program's inception, we've had over 9,500 separate entries. These are kids that are going to remember this experience, this contest, and I'm hopeful next year we'll see even more submissions. Now, I want to thank a number of people who have been helping us in this process. The West Virginia State Medical Association, the West Virginia Association of School Nurses, and the Capitol Police. All of the regional winners that you have before you today, they've been vetted by all of these judges, and I've looked at every single one of these regional winners. I have to tell you, whether you're talking about Emma from Moorfield, or you're talking about people across the state, there are so many kids that are putting their heart and soul into this effort. So I hope folks have a chance to look at it. It pervades throughout all the 55 counties. Now, one of these contestants that are before you today will join last year's winner, Blake Pasito of Matoka, and the 2017 winners, J.C. Chalmers of Martinsburg. So one of these will be announced as the overall state winner next week, and then we'll have regional winners and we'll have the state winner who will actually be in front of our office building here. We'll hang some of the posters on the walls, the winner or the runner-up. And I think this is going to be an excellent way to showcase the amazing talent of the kids of West Virginia. I think everyone knows that these are very serious issues, but we'll all learn a lot from the kids that we have through their submissions today. This is a critical issue for West Virginia. It's what our office puts more time in than anything else. And so I'm glad that we have so many kids getting involved and so many teachers and schools who understand the importance of this effort. So I appreciate folks being here, and I'd be happy to take any questions about Kids Kick Opioids or other issues that may arise.
What message would you want to give or send to those kids who are affected by this drug?
Well, first, they're not alone. That there's an opportunity to partner up with family, with friends, and with others. And we found that the most important thing combating with this opioid addiction is forging connections. Frequently, when people go in a very bad directions, it's because they've lost connection with their friends, with their family, with their individuals that they know in a work environment. We want to let folks know that there are pathways, that there are a growing array of treatment options. Certainly not enough. We need a lot more treatment, but there are also people that they can rely on. There's a growing opportunity to use the 1-800 helpline. And I think over the next few years, you're going to see more and more people coming together in local communities. Because of a lot of the work we've done, our faith-based initiative, there have been a lot of local community groups organized across the state. I think that people need to get more involved and be active and tell their stories and be on the front lines. To fight this epidemic effectively, we need local community groups working in concert with private sector, with the state government, with the federal government, and once again, we need to be holistic. Supply, demand, education.
Easy to say to adults, but when you're dealing with little kids whose parents are strung out and whatever's going on in those homes, the ones that created these arts and stuff, reach out to them and give a message to them. Some message of hope or something.
We believe that the submissions we have are so inspiring. And I think that the strength of West Virginia lies in the students and the kids that are putting their heart and soul out. It takes a lot of courage to submit something that might be in the front page of a newspaper. People have to know that you're not alone, that there are a lot of people dealing with this terrible epidemic, and you have people that are trying to help you. Not only do you have your friends and family, but you have people in local, state, and federal government who want to make sure that you grow up in a drug-free environment, that you grow up and you have an incredible opportunity to get a job of your choice, that West Virginia is the finest state in the country, and you're going to have an ability to soar. And what you're doing today, by getting involved with these submissions or paying attention, by becoming an ambassador, focusing on substance abuse issues, I think you're changing the state. One person, one submission can literally help turn this epidemic around. But we need everyone engaged. And that's why I would ask the kids of our state today, get involved, get engaged with your local community groups so we can fight back against this terrible epidemic.
I hate to change the subject entirely.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
When the Catholic Diocese, yesterday said that the new charges are totally false. What you can speak to that at all?
Sure. Look, it's been obviously very deeply disappointing that the Catholic Church continues to conceal documents and that they're not cooperating. Obviously, they cooperated a little bit up front, but after we filed the original submission, they spent a lot of time talking about how, quote, old a lot of the allegations were. And we thought about that a little bit, and some of them obviously go back in time. But it's critical to note that the reason why they're coming to light now is because of our office. We filed subpoenas last fall. And because of that, we know that a month later, the Catholic Diocese released a list of 31 credibly accused priests where there were potential allegations of sexual abuse. That's very serious. So we know that they reacted due to our subpoena. We also know that from the first from the first filing, the complaint to this, we've had a lot of people in the public step up and provide additional information. And we're very fortunate. We have a new allegation of abuse, a teacher of a student. We have an instance where we believe that Bishop Bransfield knew of at least 22 people who didn't have background checks performed. We also know that these are a group of people that have still not come clean on all of the issues out there. I would note that the Bishop Bransfield investigative report has yet to come out. And even if they want to redact certain portions of it, get it out there. Be transparent. This is a group that's not been transparent. And I will tell you, it's very, very difficult for me personally. I'm a Catholic, a practicing Catholic. I want to see them come clean. I know there are many good people in the church, a lot of people trying to do good things. But to clean this up, they have to come forward and they have to be a lot more transparent. And I feel good about the allegations we've put in there based upon the evidence we've collected, and we're going to keep pursuing this.
Are all the charges filed?
So the investigation will always continue, and I'm hopeful through this process and even today, people see that you can make a difference. If you were abused by someone in a Catholic school or in a camp, there's an opportunity to come forward because you can actually make a difference in cleaning this problem up. One of the biggest challenges we found in this case is that there are witnesses, there are people who have been afraid to step forward because they don't want to relive the horrific experiences that they had. I can promise people this. We will do our best to protect you and to ensure that at least the process, whatever's under our control, works out appropriately. But we're doing this because if we didn't, there might not be the list of 31 credibly accused priests that come out. There might not be the 3 criminal referrals that we've already issued to local prosecutors across West Virginia. There wouldn't be the opportunity to have closure. West Virginians deserve that, and that's why we're doing this. All right. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. We urge people to take a look at the Kids Kick opiate submissions. They're really amazing, and they stretch all across our great state. So please do that. Follow up with any questions. In the upcoming weeks, we're going to probably have some additional announcements. We know there are a lot of issues pending related to Frontier, and we'll be having some announcements about Medicaid fraud, and then follow up on our drug suits. Because as we indicated last week, there will likely be some additional information that comes out. That investigation continues. So I'd like to thank people who are here today, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.